Hi guys, and welcome back to Sugar or Shits. And this is episode 3 of the Plant-Based Commandments. So, GMOs, seedless fruits. My take on this is just to try my best to stay away from them. Simply because as far as seedless fruits are concerned, they do not have the exact same nutritional value as far as fiber-wise that the seeded varieties do have. So I do try to stay away from seedless fruits. However, there are some that I do eat. GMOs. Let's talk GMOs. GMOs are genetically modified organisms. So let's stop right here and just listen to what it says. Genetically modified organism. So God does have capabilities of changing things, but he only did it when he was creating. He did not, by all means, come down here in today's world or 10 years ago or 15 years ago and say, you know what? I'm going to take this molecular structure from out of this plant and I'm going to place it in this one and I'm going to combine them and I'm going to force them genetically. I'm going to force their structure together to create something else or something like it. So, these items are being made in laboratories, of course. Mostly they're made in laboratories. They are also being produced in farmlands or whatnot, but they are being produced in laboratories and then replanted. These genes, they can originate from any living plant, living being, creature, including a human, and be forced into a genetic structure with another living organism. Sometimes, they refer to as transgenic products. That kind of makes me laugh because I think of a whole bunch of other things, but I'm not going to go there. But they are considered that, transgenic. And that's because the genetic transfer, which occurs during modern GMO research, the process may be also referred to as genetic modification or genetic engineering. But all these terms lead to the same approach to organism modification. So it's just telling you that it's changing the molecular structure of a plant. And people wonder why when they eat nowadays that they wonder why they're back hungry in an hour or two. Well, you're back hungry because you're really not eating real food. I remember as a kid, I used to love McDonald's. And it wasn't until maybe I had to be in my 20s when I stopped eating McDonald's. And I think it was because I worked there. But I stopped eating McDonald's because one day I looked in my car and I found a fry. God knows how long this fry could have been here. I mean, this fry could have been here for a whole year. I don't know. But I was a good person as far as taking care of my vehicle and things like that. So I kept my vehicle clean. I was always vacuuming. I was always washing and waxing my car. So it's not likely that it was there too long. But it had to have been there at least maybe 2 weeks, 30 days. So anyway, back to the story. I found this fry. It was under my seat of my car, and it had dirt all over it. It had hair. It had all types of stuff over it. But the point that I'm trying to make, that it still looked the same. All I needed to do was wash it off and put it back in the fry box. And that for me was a big, big red flag. Where on earth can you go and have real food, lose it for 2 weeks or more, even a couple of days, and it still looks the same. So that made me think, if I put this in my body, and I have been putting it in my body, back then, how am I even digesting this? How is it breaking down? Where is it going? You have to think about that. So that made me stop. GMOs have been directly linked to cancers, antibiotic resistance, also allergic reactions. When I was growing up, every kid ate peanut butter. We never ever had to worry about sending a notice home saying Johnny or Peter or Susie is allergic to peanut butter, peanuts. You can't put it in the cookies. You know what I'm saying? We all ate one thing, and nobody was allergic to it. GMOs create this problem. They create food allergies. It's an enormous rise inside of these allergic reactions linked to GMOs. So bleached flour. I try so hard to stay away from bleached flour. I do use alternatives, however. I use rice flour. I use chickpea. So the thing about bleached flour is that the process, it's a chemical breakdown which diminishes the amount of nutrients in the flour, particularly vitamin E. These nutrients typically had added back in, but the bleached flour sometimes has a bitter taste. Bleached flour also has bromates in there. And even the FDA has encouraged bakers to stop using it. But yet no ban has been placed on it in the United States. The bleaching process, they bleach so many things. They bleach bread, they bleach flour. It's different foods that are bleached. And they say that when they bleach it, it tends to have a softer texture, and more volume and a brighter color than those things that are made with unbleached flour. So if you're a person that's hung up on, oh my goodness, this is too dark, or it doesn't look light and bright, you really need to do some fact checking, because the bleach is something that is out here. Even the FDA has said that they've been urging people in the United States not to use it, but they have not put a ban on it. Why? Because so many companies, so many people, so many businesses use white bleach flour. I try not to use sugar, white sugar, although I do slip. I do have some here in my home. I'm not going to say that I don't, but it's very minimum. If I use it, I'm talking, the bag will last me an entire year, literally an entire year. And then I'll probably even throw it out by the end of the year. Or, and also white table salt. Morton's, and that's a common white table salt, so I'm just going to use that as an example. This has been heavily processed, bleached, and heat treated. This high heat changes the chemical structure of sodium chloride, transforming it into a state that is no longer natural and different from what our bodies are designed to digest and use. Yet so many Americans use this on their food. In my home, you will not find Morton salts, nor white salt. I have not bought this product, I would have to say 15 years or more. I do not eat soy and tofu. A lot of people that have turned vegan or gone on a health frenzy, they have turned to these products because so many people that market them have claimed that they have a higher nutritional value and they are healthier for you. But I'm here to let you know, it turns out that soy contains estrogen-like compounds called isoflavones. Some of these findings show you that the promotion of cancer cells that impair female fertility and also mess with the thyroid function. Not to mention it's not natural. Tofu is man-made. My take on soy and tofu, and this is very important because this channel represents health and alternative health, and a lot of people have been lied to. Soy and tofu, it's very dangerous. Avoid it at all costs. They're very high in protein, low in saturated fats, and have been linked to cancer. I cannot say that enough. The eating of dead flesh. Let's reflect back to when you were a child and you heard, "You are what you eat." That's so true. Can you imagine a chicken, a cow, or any other animal running scared or terrified on its way to the slaughterhouse, knowing that it's going to be slaughtered and killed? Literally eating a scared, dead carcass. And people wonder why they have mental issues. You are what you eat. Not to mention that animals, before they're being slaughtered, they're normally being injected with barbiturates, some type of drug to make them rapidly lose consciousness and die, or an initial sedative. Alongside with that lethal injection, since the 1950s, the FDA has approved a number of steroid hormone drugs for the use of beef, cattle, and sheep, including estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and their synthetic versions of such. I can go on and on about the meat process, but there's no need because I'm sure you guys are full aware of what's going on out here with the meat market.